welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be making a video about Adyen. Now, if you don't know what Adyen is, it is a Dutch company that makes payment services and things like that. So let's say POS systems, for example, when you go to a store and you swipe your credit card, that is a point of service, that is a POS systems. That is what Adyen makes, and they make it a complete all-around service for POS, which means if you have a website, you can use Adyen, or a mobile app, Adyen, all this kind of stuff, and they have huge clients. And I'm going to talk about that later. So if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, remember, this isn't financial advice. It's purely entertainment and educational purposes. Now, personally, I like Adyen quite a lot because they operate with all the large payment people like Visa, MasterCard, Google Pay, Klarna, Cash App, whatever. And they have huge clients. They have Meta, they have Microsoft, all those kinds of huge companies because their product is very great, and they operate in a quite a streamlined fashion, which means that say you are a company and you want everything to be the same everywhere. Before Adyen came along, some companies had to get different payment services for mobile phones and for not for mobile, for games and apps and on the website, and then physically, but Adyen delivers all that, and that is why I like the case quite a lot, because that means once you get it, chances are you're gonna stay with it. It's a very sticky client base, so to speak. Now, if we take a look at the graph here, as you can see, currently we're trading quite low compared to earlier in the year where we were all the way up in 1800 euros. Now we're actually trading low compared to historically, as you can see here. We're trading up a lot higher for quite a while. As you can see here, all the way up in 1600 for quite a while, building up, and then it dropped dramatically. It has previously traded all the way up in 2300 during the pandemic, so it is quite a volatile stock. So if you don't have ice in your stomach, maybe this isn't a stock for you. And as well, it's also quite expensive at 1,484 euros. Now, as you can see, currently we're on a bit of a slump, but we did recently have this golden cross, as you can see right here on the 23rd of April, which is quite nice. And ever since then, we have been trading mostly in the upper channel here in the RSI, which is also a great thing, of course. Now, if you don't know what RSI is, that is the relative strength index, which means if you're below 70 but above 50, it's in the upper channel, which means there is upwards momentum. If you're below 50 and above 30, you're in the lower channel, which means there's upwards momentum, no, downwards momentum. And as you can see right here, we are below 30, which means it's oversold. That is why we see this red pitfall here, and that's why we see it spike quite fast up, because they often do this because of algorithmic trading. And as well as up here where it's overbought, we see it spike up and then fall quite quickly again due to algorithmic trading. Now I have to say I am quite biased. I love this company quite a lot. Now I don't own any of them at the moment because I was actually waiting for them to fall even further. I did think they would fall further below this given the volatility in the stock, but I misjudged that and now it is upwards. So I'm just waiting to see if I can maybe get in a bit cheaper, and I'm waiting to see it stable off quite a bit, so it's a bit more stable, or maybe it's gonna fall. If it increases up to 1500, I am gonna buy it, however. Now, as you can see here, the earnings, they are slowly but surely increasing, and look at how huge their earnings are. As you can see here, they make a lot of euros per stock, and a lot of stocks, I don't know if you know this, they make maybe a euro, maybe 2 euros per share, but they make a lot. As you can see, this is a huge company, 46 billion euros, which is quite a lot. Now, however, they don't pay out any actual dividends. That's because they might have generated a large sum of revenue, but their income isn't that great. And as you can see down here, they had an insane amount of revenue in 22, and that really fell off in 23. And this is because of just increased competition. We see other companies like Square, like PayPal, and other companies really try and grab some market share, and they have done that successfully. And also just because of the fact that they were hiring about 2,000 people these 2 years alone, which is quite insane. As you can see, there is 4,000 employees, so about half of their staff was hired during this period, which meant that they had a 10% decrease in EBITDA. So that is also the reason why it fell off so hard. But as you can see, their margins were, of course, then quite a lot better. And in the end, it is better to have income increase than revenue increase, because the net income is in the end what matters. You can have positive revenue but negative income, not the other way around. So the net income is the only thing that should actually matter. And now their margins are a lot better, and they've stopped hiring, which is great, because this means each employee is now more and more effective. If you look at the seasonals on the stock here, as you can see, it is quite great some years, and some years it's quite poor. As you see in 22, we had a 45% haircut, and again in 23 it did actually go quite a lot back in 23 compared to where it was at some point. As you can see, at one point in 23 it was minus 50%. So if you bought in mid 23, it was quite a poor stock to own, of course. But yeah, so it really came back, and in 24 last year it was quite decent at 20, almost 24%. So most of the years it has quite high percentages when it gains, and also quite high losses when they lose. Then we have 18, which is quite of an outlier, but it was trading up at 58% sometimes of the year, as you can see here, and even negative, and then it rebounded a bit. And as well for 25, as you can see, we were up with around, what is that, 58%, no, 28% at some point, and then we were negative, and now we're in the positive again, and I think we are gonna keep on this trajectory upwards. Now, if we look at the technicals on the stock, as you can see here, currently it is a buy for the day, and for the month as well, it is a buy, and that is simply because it is increasing slowly in price, and we of course have this golden cross. And if you don't know what a golden cross is, that is when the short-term momentum is greater than the long-term momentum, which means that it is moving upwards. So it is quite great. We are also currently sitting on a support line, which is of course nice. As you can see here, we're actually a bit below the support line. It is actually here. So we're actually a bit below that, but if we break through this support line up here, which is around what, 15.909, then chances are we are going to increase a lot more. And then we have a support level just below it as well, as you can see down here, at just around, what is that, about 1400. So as you can see, we are very close to a breakthrough and a support level, which of course is great. We do see then the next proper breakthrough point is up here at 18, so we do have quite far to go before we can break through this, but of course that is also what, like 30, no, that's like 27% up from where we currently are priced, so there is a ways to go there. Now the technicals on this, no, analysis on this, I mean, we have 34 analysts, as you can see, and they are very, very positive. As we can see, we have 22 strong buy, 4 buy, and 8 hold, so that is of course quite nice, because we have so many analysts, and they're not, of course, they are not all over the place, as we have no sell or strong sell, but given the fact we have so many hold and also relatively many buy, and then a lot of strong buy, means that a lot of analysts have really done their groundwork to show, okay, is it a stock worth holding? As you can see, also currently, given where we are trading at, we are trading pretty much in the median where we have been, so chances are it's going to go upwards or downwards. As you can see, some people think it's going to go all the way up in 2,500 euros. The average is 1872, and the minimum is 14, so just a bit below where we are at currently. And the minimum is, of course, is one of these holds somewhere. So quite interesting to see that even though if we lose 5%, it's really not that bad at the end of the year. So quite interesting at the moment. I think it is going to go up to 2,000, about 2,000 to be honest. I think it's going to go up about 600 euros, but no, that would be 500 euros from where we are currently sitting. I do think that's going to happen. And just look at their annual earnings report. They are really estimated to increase their earnings more and more and more. And I also do think that they are going to, in the end, pay out dividends just because they have great margins. And I think it would be a great way to reward the investors. A very good way. So yeah, that was my analysis on Adyen. Now, if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe.